It's SMT 10 time, baby. SMT 5 was a great game, with the only major flaw being the story, but hey, it's fair. It feels like it was rushed to release, and I'd rather have a bad game with a great story rather than a great game with a bad story. I still played and enjoyed SMT 5, though. When I heard that a better version of SMT 5 was going to be released, I was really excited. SMT 5 is my favorite SMT game, followed by Apocalypse and Nocturne, so I immediately bought SMT 5 Vengeance. One feature I was very interested in was how your human friends could participate in battle, so here's the challenge. Can you beat SMT 5 Vengeance while playing it like a Persona game? The rules are simple for this. 1. I will be playing the Canon of Vengeance path on hard difficulty. 2. I am not allowed to use demons, and only use human allies in battle. 3. The DLC is allowed, but the DLC items are not. I do this because I hate grinding. 4. I must try to get every single ending. 4 actual videos, absences, boss fights, and some mandatory battles will be recorded. Yes, there will be spoilers, and I will be writing the script while playing, so I have no idea right now if I can beat this challenge or not. Let's begin, shall we? The game starts with us and our classmates heading to our school. After we make our name of Dick Lancer that I stole from Robin and Zephyr, we find that our classmates, Yuzuru Atsuta, Tao Isanokami and Miyazu Atsuta want to walk home with us. We try to go back to our dorm, but we're blocked for some reason, so we go the long way and meet Ichiro Dazai in Shinagawa Tunnel. As we go in, an earthquake happens and we all die. Nah, I'm just kidding, we wake up in Iowa, which is worse. We immediately see Ichiro get kidnapped by an angel, and we get attacked by demons, but due to us being the protagonist, a lightning bolt kills all but one of the demons. A half-man, half-robot, 100% Chad does the classic, take my hand if you want to live, so we do, and have our magic girl transformation. We become the androgynous blue-haired anime protagonist that we are, and have our tutorial. The demon is simple to kill as it's a tutorial battle, and we get it done quickly. Now is a good time to say what we're putting our stat points into. Since we will not have a lot of party members, we need to acquire more press turns. Every person you have out in a battle gets 1 press turn, and if you hit a weakness or get a critical hit, it will cost half a press turn. There are more intricacies of the press turn battle system, but that's all you need to know for now. Anyways, we'll be going for a magic build for this challenge, as it'll allow us to exploit weaknesses, even though it's 1000 times better to go for a physical build. After a few tutorials and quests, we come to our next forced encounter against the first absence. Absences contain powerful demons, but if you beat them, you gain miracles which can do a variety of things. I forgot to record this one, and the other absences up until the second boss, but this one contains 3 mandrakes. By using a non-Malraki essence we get when we first meet the shop owner, Gustav, you can grab Aggie, and use that to burn the mandrakes alive. 2 attempts for this foliage. Some more walking later, we run into Yuzuru looking at a train. We tell him that Ogami told us this used to be Tokyo, but that was 20 years ago. Yuzuru tells us that he works for an organization called Bethel as part of the Japan branch, and he can summon demons to work with him. That is immediately put to use, as the first new major fight occurs against Glacial Villas. Along with Yuzuru, another human shows up to help us in the form of Yoko Hiramine, who doesn't summon demons for her powers. The fight is pretty simple, as Glacia is pretty simple to beat. Glacia uses strictly physical attacks and Dust Omen to inflict Mirage, which takes your accuracy. It's weak to electric, so smite it down, but not before debuffing with Tarunda from Nahobino, which you can get from the Ogami type essence in Rakunda from Yuzuru. Unlike any other game in the series, SMTV and Vengeance use a max stack of 2 levels for buffs, both negative and positive, so make sure you don't forget that. The fight is pretty simple after that, and with help from Omagadoki, critical, which makes all attacks, even magical attacks, crit. It makes this boss easy.
This'll do.
I'll back you up.
I'll finish. Here. I can't afford to fail.
Quit running!
How's this? You're done.
It's cleared in one attempt. We get a formal introduction to Yoko, who tells us she's an exorcist, and specializes in magic, so she doesn't need demons to use magic. Yuzuru splits off from the group, leaving Yoko and us to progress forward. The next absence is Mermaid, who has a powerful ice attack called Stormcaller's Song, but both us and Yoko have fire magic, so torch the Mermaid. 2 attempts. Our last absence before the next boss is 2 Sudama, who are weak to electric. Smite them down. 1 attempt. Now, before our next boss, we must prepare. The boss mainly uses fire and physical skills, with a Magatsuki move that deals dark damage, so Fire Null would be great. However, I wanted to stay around the same level as the boss at the time, which is 15. The first demon who nulls fires Aetvar is at 17. So that was out of the question. Our next best bet is Demon, as it has Fire Resist and Dark Null, which works well. The boss is weak to Ice, so grab Bufu and the Miracle Ice Mastery 1, and we can now start the showdown. We get some flashbacks, learning that Ogami was an agent of Bethel, made to fight against the forces of evil, but Lucifer shows up, drops the best line of the game.
The god you cravenly revere is dead.
And dips. Anyways, we now must fight the Guardian of Tokyo Tower, Hydra. The Hydra fight is simple. It uses a mixture of fire and physical attacks, and can deal some decent damage, as its fire attack, Fire Breath, can hit multiple times. The immediate plan is to have us exploit its ice weakness with Bufu, while Yoko plays support with Tarunda and Dia. Yoko is not very tanky, while thanks to Rooted Soul, we are, with an additional 30 HP and MP. If Yoko isn't healing or debuffing, have her guard, and when you get a full Magatsuki bar, and don't need to heal or debuff, activate Omagadoki, critical, and have her throw some ice gems. When Hydra reaches around 40% of its HP remaining, it'll start Phase 2. Phase 2 adds a new move into the fray with Frenzy, a multi-hit physical move, but other than that, keep debuffing and throwing ice cubes at it, and you'll be fine.
You ready?
Watch this.
Ten attempts. After slaying the Hydra, we meet Goku, and he gifts us the return pillar and a new destination, the Tokyo Diet Building. Before we do that though, we've got some absences to clear. Shikuji is weak to light. Light has a chance to insta-kill if it's a weakness. You don't even need the video, 3 attempts. She faces the same problem. 1 attempt. As we run to the Diet Building, an angel falls before us dead, and our culprit is the first of the 4 members of the Kaddish 2, Nama. This fight is easy as hell. Nama has only dark and life drain for damage, and with Demon's Essence, we're immune to dark. Nama is also weak to physical, for some reason. The only threatening moves are life drain and maybe capitulate to pleasure, which inflicts charm to all allies and removes buffs, but still, this fight is a breeze. Grab Needle Rush from Jun's Essence, and start swinging. 2 attempts. The double shiizes are simple, as you can use an Ogami essence and Aji to kill them. Two attempts. Back to the story kills. We arrive at the Diet building, only to find that we're barred entry by 2 angels. They want us to defeat some demons, being 2 Andrash and an Eligar. All 3 are weak to electric, so make sure you have electric mastery 1 for this fight. The essence of choice is Nazuchi's, as he has resist physical, which is great against Eligar, and the Andrash are usually taken care of quickly. Nothing new here, really, just zap them all until dead. Three attempts. Once we get back, we can't find the 2 angels, so we stroll on into the Diet building, only to find a bunch of dead angels and the snake woman there, and because it's a SMT game, you have to fight her. Nuwa is not a complicated boss. Her passive ability lets her deal more damage when your Magatsuki bar isn't full, but otherwise, slap on Sudama's essence for null force, grab Fire Mastery 1, and burn her to a cinder. You only need to get her to around 40 to 50% of her health for her to go down.
yet. Do it.
Two attempts. After we quote-unquote beat Nuwa, we meet her other half, Shohei Yakumo. Everyone argues for a bit before Nuwa and Yakumo go to fuck somewhere else. We find Ichiro hiding in a corner, so we go pick him up, meet back up with Yuzuru, and head back to Tokyo. When we arrive, we are immediately lambasted by Abiel because we're in a Hobino, and that's against the rules, I guess, but Tao calms her down, and we go to have a meeting. In said meeting, we learn that Tokyo became the netherworld 18 years ago for some unknown reason, and God made a perfect copy of Tokyo to replace it. We meet both the president of Japan and the head of the Japanese branch, Hayao Kashimazu, who looks a lot like Ogami. Anyways, he gives Ichiro the ability to summon more demons, and we're now a squad of teenagers going to kill demons as a part-time job. Nice. The next day in school, we see a girl named Sayuri Tsukishima being bullied by a few girls, who Tao later tells us on the roof of our dorm are her former lacrosse teammates. Yoko just so happens to be there and tells us that the only way to stop bullying is to kill the bullies. I mean, no? After that, we go to bed once more. The next morning, we try to go to school, only to find Glacioloblas and Nama? But how are they in Tokyo? No matter, we must stop them before they hurt others. But we don't have Ogami with us. Oh no. Luckily, Ogami comes at the perfect moment to clutch up, and the fight begins. This fight, on the surface, looks incredibly difficult. The bosses have 4 press turns total, which does not look too swell. Glaciu does way too much damage with Zanma and Bouncing Claw, whereas Nama charms and lowers your attack. I tried getting Zyandra to deal damage faster, but I don't have the right essence to get it, meaning I'm still stuck with +1 Zeo. I then had an idea. I had gotten an item that would let me respec my stat points, so I evenly split my stat points between magic and vitality. Magic for, well, increased magic damage, and vitality for increased defense. My best solution was to equip Bikoran for the Dark Null, and focus on Glacio first, as it was the one dealing all the damage. To play it safe, use Ezio, then guard or heal. Once Glacia is dead, Nama is still weak to physical, so auto attack, heal up when life drain comes up, even though it only does 30 to 35 damage, so it's manageable, and you'll be a-okay. 7 attempts. Nama runs away, and both Nuwa and Yakumo show up, saying how demons are invading Tokyo. Ogami points us in the direction of Jozaji Temple, and we quickly run over. There, we meet Goko, who tells us that the demons are under order by a demon named Lamu, and they're at our school, so back to school we go. When we enter, we see Sayuri and Lamu talking. Some angels try to interrupt, but Lamu kills them immediately. We then see Vor. This isn't Digital Devil Saga, so Lamu dips, as Vor is illegal. For the first dungeon of the game, it's pretty easy. We get Tao as a party member, who specializes in light and healing magic. The entire gimmick is that there's a lot of forced encounters. That's kind of it. When we reach Lamu, Sayuri is attempting to kill her bullies, but Tao uses her masterful persuasion skills to snap Sayuri out of her revenge trance, and Lamu is pissed, and as the final boss of Chapter 1, this is a nice break. Lamu starts the fight with Babylon Curse, inflicting his unique status, Mud. Mud takes away a whole press turn and fucks up our turn economy. Otherwise, Lamu has nothing special. He has Ice and Dark, so Bikorin is still the right essence choice. Grab Mahama from Makami's essence, as Lamu has a lot of tentacles which regain health with Babylon Curse, and shoot away.
You ready?
4 attempts. Once Lamu dies, we can have a nice break to relax for a few seconds, and never mind, Lilith just killed both Sayuri and Tao. Damn it. Lilith is the second member of the Cages too, and the leader. She spouts about how she got a lot of Magotsui, and leaves. Tao does a Jesus and resurrects from the dead, and we overhear Ichiro and Yuzuru arguing. Yuzuru says that it's Ichiro's fault that Miyazu, who if you couldn't tell, is Yuzuru's sister, got kidnapped. We argue for a bit before agreeing to save Miyazu, and our next chapter begins now. To start off with, we explore the new area, Shinagawa, looking for missing students. When we rescue them, they all say that a demon came after them, and asked what their least favorite part of their body was. If said, she would cut out said body part. Pretty gruesome stuff. We find some Mimin, some new essences, and more specifically, the Ogami Type 3 and Type B essences. Type 3 gives us access to our first medium damage spell, Zyanga, but Type B has the single most broken move yet. You know Heat Riser, right? Raises all your stats by 1? Imagine that, but double. Inflaming Divinity costs a lot of MP, but getting +2 in everything, along with Boon Boost to make it last 4 turns instead of 3 is absolutely insane. The first absence fight is 2 Jack Frosts, so grab a fire skill and Null Ice, and you'll be a-okay.
You ready?
Three attempts. Next is 2 Makamis and 2 Feng Huangs, and they're weak to dark. 3 attempts, as I got unlucky with the insta-kill RNG. You don't gotta see the footage, you know what happens. Now, while walking through the shipping yard, we come across a demon gouging a student's eyes out. Ew. This is Iashith, the third member of the Kaddish too. Her fight isn't too terribly complex, but it can be a lot longer if you make it that way. She's weak to force, so grab Zama and Force Mastery too, along with the Shiki Uji Essence for resist physical. There's one question you're probably asking though, and that's why I have Concentrate. Unlike in Persona, in SMT 5, Concentrate only increases the damage of a move by 1.8, so why do I use it? Conservation. Most second-tier spells cost around 20 MP, whereas Concentrate only costs 10 MP. I just like it. You don't need to have it, but I have it. As for her attacks, on her first turn and every 3 after that, she'll go for her unique move, Voracious Salvation. Once again, this isn't Digital Devil Saga, Vord does not need to be a mechanic. Voracious Salvation deals physical damage, just like all of her moves, but it also heals her for the damage dealt. Use physical dampeners on those turns, and keep using Zanma. She also has an all-target poison skill, so stock up on some Amrita sodas. Remember to keep her attack down and your defense up, and you should be good.
It's time! I can't.
Six attempts. Eashith runs off, and we continue on. Our next absence is a cockatrice, who's pretty much a worse Eashith. It's weak to electric, though, and that lets us use Denahobino's unique electric skill, Ruinous Thunder. It's pretty much Zeodyne, but with the cost of Zyanga. It's very nice. It'll also be useful for the next boss, Theon Mac Come Hail.
Ruinous Thunder! Watch this.
2 attempts. While we walk across a bridge, we suddenly get attacked by Fion, who thinks that we're a bad demon. Fion is another physical boss, so Shiki-Uji is the right essence, but remember to grab some fire dampeners. Fion can buff his attack with Tarukaja and lower our defense with Pierce Armor. He also has a unique move in Makin Luin, which deals a lot of damage, especially if he crits, but for some reason, he doesn't use it when he uses Omagadoki, critical for some reason, he uses Maraji Ei, which is Shiki-Uji's weakness, so that's why we have the fire dampeners. His only other concerning attack is Dark Sword, as it can inflict seal, which makes us only able to basic attack. That's it, pretty much.
It's time! Watch this. Come on! I'm sorry.
So.
Come on!
Watch this.
Eight attempts. After we'll beat some sense into Fion, he realizes that we're chill, and stops fighting. He tells us that he's also rescued some students, keeping them in a nearby village full of friendly demons, and we all head over there. We arrive quickly, finding Oberon and Titania, who direct us to a jack-o'-lantern, who directs us to Iden, who tells us to find her 3 golden apples so that she can make the greatest weed known to both man and demon, which we do, and give to Oberon and Titania. After the weed has been made, Ichiro hits a blunt, and tells us that Miyazu is still missing, but that he saw some weird stuff at the train yard. Our final absence is a toad, who's weak to dark, but I could never get an insta-kill on him for some reason except at the very end. But yeah, just use Dark. 5 attempts. After we finish some side quests, we go to the train yard and see Yuzuru, watching as Miyazu is held in the air by Iashith. He slowly turns around, summons his dog Hyatro, and we fight. As if he kills us, then Iashith will let Miyazu go. Now, there are 2 ways to do this fight, and I'll go over the funny one first. It requires 5 things. 1. A 4th team member. 2. At least 8 fire gems. 3. Omagaduki, strategize. 4. King Frost's essence. 5. Fire Pleroma from Quetzalcoatl's essence. Now, Yuzuru opens the fight by using an ice shard, which due to us having King Frost's essence, we drain it, thus removing all press turns, which they have 4 of. Next up, use a fire gem. It should deal around 200 damage, but that was because I used a New Testament tablet to respec all of my stat points into magic. After that, as long as it's one of your human allies, make them use Omagaduki, strategize. That allows for turns to be passed without costing anything, so that means one teammate could get 8 turns, which is what the plan is. By using 8 fire gems, we can kill a Yuzuru in 1 turn. However, this does require the use of a demon, so. The main gimmick is that Hyatro has a move called Witness Me, which makes it so that Yuzuru is unable to be attacked, so you'd think that it would cause us to kill Hyatro first, right? Oh, no. The fire gem strategy works with some modifications. Turn 1. You Omagaduki, critical and throw the fire gems at Yuzuru. You won't be able to kill Yuzuru, but he'll be in the red. Now, Hyatro will use Witness Me, which lasts 3 turns, and also uses Sun's Radiance to heal Yuzuru, but even with Yoko and Tao dead, we can still kill him. Just Omagaduki, critical, and throw more fire gems. It took 6 attempts to knock Yuzuru out. As Iashith is about to kill Miyazu, the absolute goat Ichiro shows up and saves Miyazu by hitting Iashith with a fireball. As Iashith tries for the kill again, another demon stops her, most likely another member of the Cadus too, as she tells Iashith that the Crow of Crows was coming or something, so they dip. Once Miyazu and Yuzuru reconnect, the jack-o'-lantern we met back in the fairy village says that the demons took a bit too much lean, and all turned into salt. We head back to Tokyo and go to sleep, only to wake up in the morning immediately notified that more people have been turned into salt, so our only option is to find out why people are turning into salt. After gathering the clues, there's 2 suspects, a fortune teller and a big bird. We find a portal to the netherworld in Jozaji, so we head over there, and begin our next chapter, hunting down the salt people. As soon as we arrive, we are immediately attacked by a power, so we quickly curse it down to hell. We then find the Ogami Type 6 Essence, which gives us the Divine Arrow Fall skill, a heavy almighty all-target skill. We also find the first Absence, and proceed to fight it. The fight contains a Succubus, a Muushu, and a Kumhanda. The challenge of this fight is the fact that they have access to the move Spirit Drain, which, well, drains your MP. Otherwise, it's just 3 different enemies with different moves.
Watch this.
It's done in 4 attempts. After we'll beat the absence, we try to head to the first block, but we're blocked by some cherubims. We meet Yakumo and Nuwa a little later, and Yakumo tells us how he wishes for a world where only humans exist. No angels, no demons, no God, only humans. He also tells us that the only way to get the cherubim to leave is to make a distraction, and have the angels call in backup from said cherubim. Our next fight is said distraction, and it's against 11 powers, split up into 4 waves of 1, 2, 3, and 5. They're weak to dark, so they're prone to insta-kills.
Watch this.
Three attempts. Before we check on the cherubim, we have another absence to get rid of. This time, the fight contains 2 Lamias, and 2 Orthras. They're all weak to ice, so grab Mabufula and some ice gems and shards, and you'll be good. Six attempts, because Tao has terrible accuracy. We find the cherubim gone when we get back, so after we explore for a bit, another absence stands in the way. It's an Anzu this time. It's weak to force, so make sure you grab Zanma, and you'll be fine. Anzu is just very tanky.
It's time! Watch this. It's time!
3 attempts. Once we reach the first block, we get a call from Kashimazu, telling us how we need to get back to Tokyo, as something happened. When we do, we learn that Miyazu has been kidnapped again, this time by Bethel Egypt, specifically by Kansu. We suspect that Kansu is trying to become an Ahobino through Miyazu. Both Ichiro and Yuzuru join us, so we officially have a full team now. We quickly head over to their base of operations in Minato, and are interrupted by the name I'd rather not say, so we have to take her out. She's joined by 2 Lamia, but we know what they're weak to, so use ice to hit their weakness. The other one will go down in due time. Now, when we get to Kansu, since this is an SMT game, we fight him. I grab Yuzuru, Ichiro, and Yoko for this fight. Now Kansu is weak to ice, so use Buffalo with Yuzuru for more press turns, and empowering cheer with Ichiro to raise defense and evasion. Yoko is just here for support in Matarunda. Essence-wise, the best for this is Siren Up, as he resists both fire and light. Otherwise, spam ice magic, support with Ichiro and Yoko. And when you have Omagadoki, critical, use Carnage Fang with Yuzuru.
Watch this.
Don't worry.
Let's go. Watch this.
Two attempts. Once we defeat Kansu, Miyazu shows up and tells Yuzuru that Kansu is simply protecting her. Yuzuru eventually has to accept the fact that he can't protect Miyazu and fight demons as well, so we leave Miyazu with Kansu, and as a parting gift, Kansu gives us a feather that will let us call forth the Archangel Mastema. Yuzuru leaves us to reflect for a bit, so it's just us, Tao, Yoko, and Ichiro. When we get back to Shinjuku, we call forth Mastema, and we learn that he is the person who has turned the demons and the humans in the fairy village in Tokyo into salt, as to stop the Kaddish 2 from getting Magotsui. He turns Ichiro into salt to prove a point, and leaves us, Yoko, and Tao alone. It was fun while it lasted. While we leave, Mastema unsalts Ichiro, and offers him the power to destroy all he needs to in the name of God, and Ichiro accepts. Anyways, on to the next absence. The next absence is two Madgassers. They set up poison, and stall you out with Makarakarns, but almighty damage goes through Makarakarn.
Watch this.
3 attempts. After that, we have another absence fight, this time with Ithluros, Efreet, and Anorobas. They're all weak to ice.
Watch this.
Two attempts. After that, we meet Nama, and she tries to convert us, but we don't care and reject her. She leaves, and Nuwa and Yakumo show up. We talk for a bit, before they leave, and we get a call from Tokyo that people are randomly passing out. We quickly head back, and figure out that the source of the people passing out is at Jozaji Temple. Yuzuru joins us, and we quickly run over. We rush over, only to find a massive Magotsui ball, which is draining the local people of their Magotsui. The culprits? Yakumo and Nuwa. We say that's wrong, they say it's bait for the Cadis too. We fight. The essence of choice is Thur. And we grab Ajidine and Mudun for weakness coverage. Our main focus is Yakumo, as he deals significantly more damage than Nuwa. Just attack with dark, debuff, and when he goes down, do the same with Nuwa, but replace dark with fire. 3 attempts. Afterwards, we criticize Yakumo's way of thinking, as he wishes to create a world where demons don't exist, yet he uses Nuwa to increase his strength. In response, he stabs her. She heals herself, though, and they proceed to fuck off. Let's head back to Shinjuku. Before that can happen, we report back to Bethel, and Yuzuru talks to us on the roof. He says he wants to become an Ahobino to protect everyone in Tokyo, just like us. He says that Kashimazu, the head of Bethel Japan, is actually Tsukiyomi, and he's his knowledge, which basically means that he can become an Ahobino with Tsukiyomi. We give him our support, and he leaves to go fight the Demon King who you'd fight in the canon of creation, and we head back to Shinjuku. Once we return, we ride a rail to our next destination, and who do we find there but the fortune teller we've been looking for, Agrot. This part of the game is pretty fun. Agrot sets up a field of darkness, and can randomly spawn in and chase the player for a bit. The only way to stop this is by finding the real Agrot and beating her. While I said the chasing part was fun, the boss fight. Let's talk about it. See, Agrot follows a pattern. On her first turn, she'll use Queen's Decree. Queen's Decree is a 12-hit, random target almighty move. Do you see the problem with that? She'll follow that up with basic attacks, but if you're unlucky, Queen's Decree can one-shot your entire party. She'll also follow up her next turns using fire and ice respectively, but on the turn after ice, she goes for Queen's Decree again. and she can heal with diameter for 1300 health. Along with 3 press turns, it's a very hard fight. I tried a lot of things. None of them worked, so I did something I didn't like. Usually, I tried to keep around the same level for the boss fights, but well, I got to level 67, 17 levels higher than a grot. Perhaps it could have been done at level 50 with the right setup, or at a lower level with a better setup, but I didn't really care. I grabbed a Black Frost Essence, along with Ruinous Thunder, and we get to work. Concentrate here isn't worth it, so ignore it. Use Inflaming Divinity, and just keep attacking. For the time that Yoko and Tao are alive, make sure to debuff with them, Yoko with Masu Kuneta, and Tao with Mata Runda. You just need to keep pressure on a Garrote so you can outdamage her healing, but when you're 17 levels higher than the boss, and when levels add to damage, it should be good.
Watch this. Watch this.
After 24 attempts, we finally defeated a grot. Don't worry, she'll be back soon. Now, our last absence of Shinjuku is against Vritra. It's weak to force, and we got access to Zandine, so blow it away. 3 attempts. Now, once we arrive at our final destination, the Tokyo government building, we get kidnapped to the Shadow Realm, and meet Lilith. We argue for a bit before a bombshell drops. Yoko, our trusted ally since the beginning, the girl that's been here since our beginning, has been a pawn for the Kaddish too. She struggles with the choice of staying loyal to us or following the Kaddish II's orders. However, we cheer as she chooses to side with us, and now it's a 3v4. Let's get this over with, once and for all. Before this fight, you'll want to grab him on for weakness coverage, and as for essence, since our level is so high, we can use Gogmagog's essence. Gogmagog nullifies physical and ice, but is weak to fire. The only attacks the Kaddish to have are physical, fire, ice, and almighty, but that weakness to fire is a problem. Nah, I'm just kidding. We have access to resist fire at this point. In place of rooted soul, we grab resist fire, and proceed with the fight. At the start of the fight, Lilith summons the rest of the Kaddish too, and charges up Magotsui. Next turn, they'll use Kaddish 2 Entropy, an almighty move that deals a whole lot of damage to Yoko and Tao, but not to us. It also heals them, but they don't use it too often. Like before, Tao and Yoko will die quickly, so use them for their debuffs before they bite the dust. As for us, we can't use buffs, as Nama has access to Dakaja, so we just need to raw dog it, and throw out Himans at Lilith, as if Lilith dies, the fight is over.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. You ready?
After a long while of nullifying damage and throwing him out, we kill Lilith. 4 attempts. Now this is the point in the story where it goes from a 7 to an 11. Of course, since this is a JRPG, we still lose the fight, even though we win, and we're sacrificed to summon forth the goddess of destruction, Tiamat. She destroys the government building, and presumably kills Yakumo and Nuwa. In the void, we split from Ogami, as he sacrifices himself in order to save us, and Town does the same thing. In that time Lilith possesses Yoko, and we're all alone now. We've lost Ogami, we've lost Tao, and we've lost Yoko. Surely Yuzuru and Ichiro are fine, right? If you thought that, you must be new to SMT. As we wake up, we see a wounded Yuzuru and Kashimazu, with Ichiro and Abdiel being the cause. Ichiro talks about how with the power he's gotten, he can deliver justice to the world, and Abdiel kills Yuzuru. Kills him. Dead. I don't got any demons with Rekarm, and if I did, I couldn't even use them. As Ichiro and Abdiel go to leave, Abdiel notices us, and Ichiro makes the foolish decision not to kill us, since we're no longer in a Hobino. They leave, but we've got absolutely nothing left. Until Kashimazu stops playing dead. Kashimazu helps put Yuzuru to rest once and for all, so we follow him back to Tokyo, and takes us to a facility only seen in cutscenes before. He tells us that he's a Tsukiyomi-type proto-fiend, and that since we've lost Ogami, who was a Susanoo-type proto-fiend, we confuse with him to become an Ahobino once more. We do so, and now we're back, even if we have no friends left on our side. Also, at this point, there are no guest characters, so it'll be solo Nahobino now. We head back to the destroyed government building, only to find Mastemal waiting for us. He says that since we let Tiamat be reborn, we must now slay her, which is a fair deal. He says that they reside in the Holy Land of Bethel, Shakan. We take a rail up, and we arrive at Shakan. When we arrive, we're lambasted by a power and a dominion, who we quickly sweep with Zandine. Now, before progressing further, let's talk about the perks of being a Tsukiyomi proto-fiend. It's the new Magotsui skill, Omnipotent Succession. What it does is simple. Take your move. Make it happen 4 times. Leave. Yeah, it's pretty good. Sadly, it doesn't stack with Concentrate, but we do still have Omagadoki, critical, so that's nice. We also get a new essence and unique skill for Nahobino, but we'll talk about that later. Next up are 2 cherubim, who are harder than the actual boss of this dungeon. They're weak to dark, and we have Profound Land, which is nice. Poison is terrible in this game, but chip damage is chip damage. Now, the cherubim are simple creatures. They concentrate, then buff attack, activate critical, and attack with wind breath. Seems simple enough. Just grab resist force to cover Gogmagog's force weakness. Here's the thing though. You can't kill them one at a time. If you kill one, the other will start using a move that pierces through affinities, and deals mega damage. The solution is to just lower their health down, then kill them in one turn. This took me 6 attempts. After a few more puzzles, in which gravity goes upside down, we reach the final room. We see Abdiel and Yoko, who's clearly possessed. Possessed Yoko floats into some sort of clock, making the entire room shake. After that, Abdiel notices us, but doesn't recognize us for a bit. After she does, we're forced to fight her. She has one non-physical non-Magatsuki move, and it's not that strong. Just throw up a fire dampener when she goes for Magatsuki. First try. After that, she leaves, and we report back to Mastema. Mastema tells us to go to the Empyrean, and claim the throne, the end goal of every Nihobino. We then go back to Tokyo to get more lore dropped on us by Kashimizu. Afterwards, we hear Tao's voice in our head, telling us to go to the dorm rooftop. When there, we see Tao turn into a goddess, and we take her back to Kashimizu. Once that's done, we go to our final area of the netherworld, Taito. We arrive in Taito, and learn that we need 3 keys to unlock the Temple of Eternity, which will lead to the Empyrean, but 2 are in the same place. But first, absences. Our first is a combination of a throne, a Yutagrasu, and a Mitra. Use Profound Land and Succession. 2 attempts. Next is Cybele and Skathith. Replace Profound Land with Ruinous Thunder. One attempt. Next up is a Yamato no Orochi. It only has physical. One attempt. Now, we attempt to grab our first 2 keys. We meet Odin at the top of some floating colored block, and as we prepare to fight, Zeus comes out of nowhere, and demands to fight us, so we have to fight both of them. Now, both Zeus and Odin have physical and electric skills, but sadly, we have no way to become immune to electric and physical damage, right? Nope. Null skills do exactly what you think, nullify the damage of the corresponding type. If you grab Null Electric and Xandine, you can sweep this fight. Three attempts. Before we get to fight the next boss, we find Yakumo waiting for us. He says that Nuwa died while protecting him from Tiamat, and that he was dropping out of the race for the throne. We say our goodbyes, and head on our way. The next boss looks to be Vasuki, but we're rudely interrupted by Beelzebub, who wants to fight us. Would you believe it if I said that this bug has no piercing skill? Yeah, grab Ice, Electric, Force, and Dark Null, grab Agadine, and cook this bug. Second attempt. All three keys have been acquired, so we can now head to the Temple of Eternity. We ascend through the floors with no real danger, but when we reach the temple hall, we stand face to face with the Hand of God, Metatron. Metatron is rough. He's got 3 phases, signified by him charging Malgatsui. Phase 1 is simple, with him only using Mahamabarian and his basic attack, but when he gets to Phase 2, the problems begin. See, Phase 2 allows him to use his unique move, Fire of Sinai, which is 3 hits of strong almighty damage. He also has Tarukaja to increase his attack, and the worst part? I can rarely buff myself, as Metatron has Dakaja. Another thing is that Metatron has no weakness, so we can't get additional press turns, unless we use Omagadaki, critical, which we rarely use. Phase 3 just adds Debilitate and Megadolin, and one is more annoying than the other. The strategy is kind of all over the place, but here's the main strategy. Remember how I talked earlier about how we got a unique skill for the Nahobino? Well, its name is Moonlight Frost. You may remember that as Zikirmi's unique skill in his boss fight from the Canon of Creation, but now it's ours. It's severe ice damage, and has Pierce. This is our move of choice for the rest of this playthrough, and most of the next. which I'll explain later. We grab Great Life Spring for more max HP, Great Ice Pleroma for more ice damage, Enduring Soul for a revive, and No Light to nullify light damage. Also before that, we use a New Testament tablet to get 100 magic and put the rest in endurance. Now, just use Moonlight Frost and use Dispel Charms when you're at -2 in everything to save on MP during Phase 3. Otherwise, just pray that you can keep yourself healthy, and slap Metatron with the power of the freezing cold. "14 attempts. After Metatron gets slapped, we walk towards the gate to the Empyrean, but get interrupted by Ichiro. Since we defied God's will, and Ichiro is a patron saint of good, he summons the goth version of Abdiel, and we fight. This fight is significantly easier than Metatron, and that's kind of because we can hit a weakness. Goth Abdiel is weak to light, but Ichiro is weak to ice, which we just so happen to be specialized in. Anyways, it's the simple strategy of use move, buff, nullify all of their damage, which is fire and dark. Make sure you get Abyssal Mask to reduce ailment chance, as Ichiro has some, and we're weak to 2. Otherwise, just keep throwing our pointy ice cubes and they'll go down eventually.
This is true power! You will know my power!
3 attempts. Once we finally enter the Empyrean, we're lambasted by 3 Melchizedek, who we wipe the floor with. A little later on, we're once again lambasted, this time by a Sroshaw. Grab Repel Light from Metatron, and grab a latte. Once we reach the throne, we meet Goku, who tells us he's actually the light of creation, Amitabha, and asks Tao to make us the new god. However, Yoko shows up, and we have the point where the route splits. If you've chosen to spare people, and do good, you'll have aligned with Tao. If you've chosen violence, you'd be siding with Yoko. This run, I got Tao's ending, so we now must fight Tiamat. Tiamat is an interesting boss, and one of my favorites. The gimmick is that Tiamat has 4 targets, herself, the goat head, the dragon head, and the camel head. These heads all have different skills and affinities, but all share the same innate skill. If they die, they'll take health away from Tiamat, and revive themselves. Tiamat herself resists everything, but ice. In fact, all parts of Tiamat drain ice. which means that it's very funny how we're specialized in ice with Moonlight Frost. And yes, I did level myself up to 99, because I thought this was the final boss, and you know, it's fitting to kill the final boss at max level, but I was wrong. I also had Hamobarian because in previous attempts, the last head left was usually the dragon head, which is weak to light and dark, but that wasn't what happened. I'll let you see for yourself. 14 attempts. Since Tiamat is a primordial goddess, she can live past death, and we get hit by a giant beam of death. Both Tao and Zucchini get hit by it, but we're unscathed. As Tiamat prepares for another, a familiar blue ball appears in the sky and crash lands next to us. It's Ogami? Yeah, so he got freed when we quote-unquote killed Tiamat, so we fuse once more, and land a big Morakamo to kill Tiamat, once and for all. This isn't the end however, as Yoko sacrifices herself as a goddess of creation in order to summon forth her avatar of creation from Nocturne, Tehum. Before that though, we have the Minato plus Absence, and yeah, at level 99, it's a joke. Tehum is probably my favorite boss in the game. Why? Because it clearly isn't made for one person to take it on, so it makes it even more fun to beat solo. Tehum starts the fight by being weak to everything but physical. Oh, so then it should be easy, right? Nope. Tehum's innate skill allows it to at the start of its turn, drain whatever element it got hit by until it uses its Magotsui skill. It also uses the strongest variant of each element if it's hit by it, so if we use Moonlight Frost, Tehum will use Bufubarian. Now, what other moves does Tehum have? Well, their unique move, Abyssal Beckoning drains both HP and MP while inflicting sleep. They also have Catastrophe, which is just severe physical damage. Their Magotsui skill is Inception of Chaos, and it's almighty, so there's no way to mitigate their damage. Now, what do we bring into this fight? We sadly need to get rid of Gogmagog's essence in replacement for Alalat's essence, which nullifies sleep. It would have been better to have Beelzebub's essence, but I used it by accident, and saved over the file. We need two different streams of damage, so grab Ajabarian and High Fire Pleroma, along with having Midnight Frost and High Ice Pleroma. Of course, you also need Inflaming Divinity. To counter damage, grab Null Fizz, Fire, and Ice, and that's the build. Let's do this. For strategy, there's not much, really. Just play defense, attack when possible, and it'll be done. Could I have used almighty damage? Yes. Was it funnier to do this? Yes. 9 attempts later, and it's done. Teham gets clapped, we ascend to the throne, and we've beaten the Oh Hi Lucy. Yeah, we gotta beat Lucifer before we can finish this. Let's go do that now. The build is the same as before, because I was partially planning for Lucifer while fighting Teham. Lucifer has access to every element, so nullifying everything would be great, but he also has access to Megidolin, so you're not completely immune. Now, what is Lucifer's gimmick? His balls. His star balls, to be specific. He has two, the Cocytus star and the Brimstone star. Cocytus is weak to fire and makes Lucifer weak to fire, but 2 Ajabarians are required to kill Cocytus. On the other hand, Brimstone is weak to ice, and we have an all-target ice move for more damage. At around 25%, he'll use Diorama to get back some health and summon both of his stars at once. Save your Malgetsui for that time, and otherwise, this fight is simple.
The time has come. The tide turns. One must consider true freedom. One must consider true freedom.
Four attempts. That's all for the lore out. We create a world where all wishes can be fulfilled, and everyone has a happy life. But, we aren't done. Like I said before, I'm doing both routes, so that means we have to do the Chaos route. Which contains one different fight. Really, Atlas? One different fight? Whatever. Once we do crime, we side with Yoko in the Chaos route. In the Chaos route, we still need to fight Tiamat, but this time, instead of Yoko having control over it, Mastema does. We make light work of Tiamat, do all the same things, and now we come to our first new fight. Mastema has two almighty moves he rarely uses, Freakujon and Great Lament, which inflicts either poison or mirage. That's it. He's weak to fire, but hitting it triggers his innate skill, crime and punishment to give himself glowing press turns. Otherwise, it's just nullifying the elements he uses, being light and force, and you're good.
You shall not escape! Repent!
Two attempts. Now, when we return, we're lambasted by Tao and Amitabha, but we're just like, womp womp, and they leave. After that, we fight Lucifer again, and reset the world back to zero. That's all for SMT5 Vengeance Humans Only. It was a fun run, with its ups and downs. I wanted to do this first, so that's why I didn't make Yummy Hustle content. Anyways, yeah. I'll see you all later. Subscribe. Also, the next run will be for Fire Emblem Three Houses.